Hi everyone, it's Simon from High Plane Games with a review of Somos, a game that I picked up in the winter sale on Steam and have been having a lot of fun with it, so I wanted to share the love. This is a single player game and it's mouse based only. Now the idea of Somos is that you have mirror images, as the clue is in the title, which carefully mirrors itself if you fold it in half, and like dark and light and opposites attracting. You play as a circle that's in the middle of like one side of the screen and then the other, and when you flick from one side to the other, your colour then changes into the opposite effect. The problem is that you'll have enemies coming towards you that when they touch you will basically absorb and kill you, so that you end up like becoming one with that section of the light and losing your essence. And so what happens throughout Somos is that it gives you different scenarios where you'll need to click your circle so that you move from one side to the other, or click the enemies so that they then disintegrate themselves. And so what you'll need to do is have this mirror up of hand and eye coordination, because you'll need to basically plan for when you're going to flick across. It might be that sometimes you need to flick at the right time so that when both sides of the circles are down and you've got no zone to go to, that enemy hits when you're transitioning between the zones. It took me a long time to work that one out, Simon. I was having some thick moments, but I was really enjoying the experience as it was going along. And what happens is that as you go through Somos, you continue to unlock different variants. Now that might be different colours, that might be different modes. So some of them is that you need to clear X amount of enemies for you to then continue on. It might be that you need to survive a certain amount of time before you can move on to the next level, and you'll have 5 lives per level for you to kind of complete and get through. Now what I really liked about Somos is that it doesn't have the standard game over end state. There isn't an end state for game over in this game. What it does is, as you go through different modes, you unlock different types of styles. Now that might be enemies, that might be colours, it might be types of levels. And what it will do is it will kind of have this like psychedelic moment, and it will respawn variants of the colours, levels and enemies for you to then have another go at. So it might be, and I found that I struggled with the survival levels where the countdown continued to tick down, because when you die it would put the counter back up like 20 seconds, and I was like, I don't think I can survive another 20 seconds. And so what would happen is that I'd get to the game over state of that quite quickly, and when it would do its random respawning, it would often take me back to killing a certain amount of enemies and surviving that. And I found myself and my hand and eye coordination kind of clicked with that quicker and easier. And what it would do is, as you go through the levels, it's actually the amount of variation of the enemies and the amount of enemies that you need to kill increases. So the difficulty kind of spans up that way and doesn't generate the game over state where you're like, I can't progress because I can't do this survival level. I found that really, really fantastic and a really nifty good bit of game design that I loved. So yeah, it's one of those games that I was like, I'll just play that for a couple of minutes and see how it is. An hour later I'm sitting there furiously clicking and going, for goodness sake! And that's kind of the highest praise that you can give a game, I guess. The other really clever thing I thought I liked about it was it has boss levels as well, and the bosses basically spawn out different enemies that you'll have to deal with, but when they'll cross in between you and your like mirror image on the other side, you'll have to hit the button and like spank the boss's head as it flies through, and it was just really creative and clever in the way how it came across that. So yeah, Somos. It's not been out for very long, but I highly recommend it. You don't necessarily have to complete all of the different bits for it to like become an end game of the campaign. What you can then do is choose up your own variations and go through like a relaxing or an endless playthrough as well, because it's one of those things that you get sucked into the aesthetic of it and you'll be there for quite a while if it clicks with you. And also, I guess as a side note, I really like these types of games that play with colour and mirror images and like negative versions of stuff. So if you enjoy Somos and you're looking for something else as well, there's a game called Duet that I reviewed a couple of years ago that reminds me of this game as well, and I think those two together are kind of like some of the pinnacle of this type of game. So yeah, Somos out now, 2 thumbs up from me, highly recommended. Thanks for watching. This channel is just one of my many projects that cover games, music and film. If you enjoy any of these and would consider supporting me to develop further in the future, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/Satorimon. Thank you for your time and for watching the video.